Letters from Marz, Letters from Marz, Letters from Marz podcast. What is up? Let's get into this tea hunting. Yes.
Hello, loves. My name is Junie Marz, and this is Letters from Marz, a podcast all about positivity, energy, and creativity, all created to help you live your best life and you feel your best. Full of inspiration, ideas, and innovation, this podcast was made for you. Now let's get into it, honey.
A lot of us think about like money and we think, oh, I want to make money, but I don't have like X job. It isn't necessarily what you're doing or where you are, but your mindset. How you've been trained from childhood to think about money. I had my own business and I was, a successful person school-wise, but for some reason, I couldn't make money. I really had to go back deep into my own mindset and think about what are the blockages that I'm having in my mind that aren't allowing me to either think more creatively or accept money into my life. I was like, am I limiting myself? Like, am I limiting my belief about money because I think that I don't deserve to make a lot of money? Is that what's going on? And then as a woman, like, have I been told that I'm not able to make a lot of money? And is that affecting how I think about money? Do I say things like I'm broke, or do I say things like money flows to me in abundance? It really starts with you. Money, 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 money. Money. Money, 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 money. Money. What is up, everyone? Welcome to the second episode of Letters from Marz. My name is Junie Marz, and I'm your host. So, I wanted to do this episode about money and the money mindset, because I feel like it's something that affects everyone, but that no one likes to talk about. I feel like when it comes to money, people spend it like they have it. They talk about it like it's nothing. But a lot of us are struggling with money. And the part about struggling isn't necessarily linked to the money when you think about it on a deeper level. A lot of our struggle or challenge with money stems from our belief systems about money, the stories that we carry in our hearts, in our heads, about our relationship with money. And some of it stems from our parents and from their parents. And what we are walking around with is essentially a story that has been passed down the line through our family about how money circulates in our personal lives. So this week, my open letter to you is a speech that I wrote, a letter that I wrote, all about my own challenges with money and building up my money mindset. You heard at the beginning a little bit of a short talk I did about money mindset. In this letter, I will get a little more deeper about the topic. And I want to hear from you about your own journey towards building a positive money mindset. It takes work, honey, right? It's not something that happens right away. Now, if you've already had a healthy relationship with money, right, and you have a very positive feeling about money, that's amazing. And I would say that's unique and rare, because that is something that is built over time. For the majority of us, we are taught that there's one way to make money, and that is to give your time for money, right? You make money by the hour, or you work a salary job. And for a lot of us, we give the majority of our time to our job. And for a lot of us, we are giving a majority of our time to a job that is someone else's dream. And so we work all day to pay our bills, and then we're so tired when we get home that we can't dedicate time to our own ideas or to raising and boosting our own health, our own self-love, our own creativity. So I want you to think about that as I share this open letter for this week's topic of money mindset. Let's get into it, honey. Have you ever looked at other people's lives like, wow, they make a ton of money. I can never be like that. I can never make that much money. They're so lucky. That is complete and utter bullshit. You can have the life that you want. It is all about your mindset. And honestly, it's not your fault. Did you know that 97% of our actions and our thoughts come from our subconscious mind? That part of our brain that is primal and designed for one purpose. And that one purpose is survival. And survival lives in the comfort zone, the bare minimum, the safe, the fear. Survival seeks to please the ego. And the ego, well, honey, the ego can talk you out of anything. The ego is something that prefers the way things are. The ego is not bold or daring. The ego does not ask questions. The ego makes assumptions. The ego lives in the it's better to be safe than to be sorry. The ego doesn't admit that it doesn't know anything. The ego is too proud to ask for help. I want to tell you a story about ego. There's this girl who was riding on the subway, and a woman came onto the train with a cooler full of sandwiches, and she made an announcement, and she said she was from an organization that had a mission to help feed the homeless and the hungry. She asked, is there anyone right now on this train car who is hungry and in need of food? The girl was so hungry that she felt faint, and she didn't know where her next meal would come from. And though her heart whispered, yes, please, I'll take a sandwich, her mind roared, you don't need some handout from a random woman on the train. What are you doing? You're too good for all that. And the girl listened to her mind and not her heart. And the woman left the subway train car with her cooler full of sandwiches, and the girl's stomach was still grumbling. That girl was me. That story is true. In 2015, I was really struggling. I had started my own business, but I wasn't making any money from it. And I wasn't making any money because no one cared to come to my events or because people weren't willing to pay me. No, it was because I was plagued by the fear of being successful. I was ruled by my self-righteous ego. And I was too cocky and too proud to admit that I couldn't do it all on my own and that I was desperately in need of help. So for many days, I made about $20 an hour from dog walking, and I would stuff all my bills away. And I thought that if I didn't pay attention to them, then they would just all go away and disappear. I was stuck in my ego, and I was unwilling to change. I remember one night I had just enough money to buy a slice of pepperoni pizza. And as I walked home with the warm pizza in my hand, I cried because I was trying to figure out how I would feed myself and my 3 pets, my dog and my 2 cats. And I remember taking off each of the pieces of the pepperoni and trying my best to distribute them equally in each of my pets' bowls. And I threw a little bit of cheese in, and, that was it. That was it. I knew at that moment that I had to change. I had this block in my mind that because I had a master's degree and because I had a business idea that I had started, I was too good to work at just any job. I had an image to uphold. Now, what kind of nonsense thinking was that? I was so trapped in my egotistical mind that I would rather jeopardize my health and my pet's health to maintain my pride. I can laugh at it now, but then it was a real struggle for me. I had to do some deep, deep, deep soul searching and a lot of unlearning. I had to question my mindset and my story. Where did all these ideas come from? Soon after that event, I went into this restaurant that I would pass every day on my way to my dog walking client. And I swallowed my pride one day, and I went in and I asked them if they were hiring. And within a few weeks, I was a server and then a bartender. And I was making more money than I ever had in a really long time. It was great. I had to get out of the confines of my own mind to truly start to live again. I had to let go of this pride that was instilled in me so that I could truly thrive. Since then, I've gone on to start a podcast. I've written a book. I've created a blog. And I've started a YouTube channel. You can change your life because you can change your mind. It all starts with you. So that was a bit of my own personal challenges with money. my own personal mindset around money. That happened now over 4 years ago. But your money mindset, something I want to stress from this letter, is your money mindset is something that you really have to continue to work on in order for abundance to thrive in your life. You have to truly believe that you are worthy of receiving money. Now, it's not just about believing that you're worthy of receiving money. It's also about knowing your value and knowing what you can give to the world. Because money, right, it's just an exchange of energy. And when you are exchanging energy, right, you have a role in that exchange. So for many of us, right, our exchange of energy is essentially the work that we put into our jobs every day. But when we think about it more deeply, each of us is endowed, was born, was created with specific skills. And sometimes at our jobs, we use those specific skills, but sometimes we don't. And that leads to us feeling in our jobs inadequate sometimes, bored other times, unstimulated, unfulfilled, because we're not tapping in to the things that we were created to do. And so it's really important for you to really give thought to what it is that you were created to do. And generally, that is the thing that lights you up inside. That is the thing that you would be doing regardless of the fact, or regardless of whether you would make money or not. It's your thing. And some of you listening to this may be like, oh yeah, I know what my thing is right away. And others may be listening to this and saying, I don't really know what my thing is. And that's okay too. Everything about self-discovery takes work. I call work love work when it's a positive thing. So everything about self-discovery takes love work, meaning that you have to invest time in getting to know who you are. You have to invest time into understanding what stories you have been carrying around, what programs in your mind you have been carrying around since childhood, right? So from the age of 0, when we're born, to 7 years old, we are formulating thoughts. We are learning programs from our parents, from our upbringing, from our experiences, from our senses about what life is supposed to be like and how, what role we are supposed to play in it. And for many of us, that is not always a positive thing. Sometimes we find ourselves having confidence issues or challenges because growing up, we didn't get so much enthusiasm from our parents, or we had bad experiences with people teasing us or whatever that affect us now. The same thing is true of our relationship with money. It stems from a seed that was planted a really long time ago in your life. So what is required in order to figure out what's at the root of why you may think about money in more of a challenging way, or you may struggle with money, is to get to the root of why. And there are so many different ways that you can begin to do that. One of the first ways is writing a letter to yourself about your past in terms of money. How have you treated money, and be honest with yourself, growing up, as a teenager, in your early adulthood? Did you give much thought to it? Do you have a budget? Do you feel empowered by your budget or limited by your budget? What kinds of words do you say to yourself about your relationship with money? Are you saying, I'm broke, I can't pay for this, I can't afford this? Or are you saying, yes, I'll take care of that? Or something like, well, not right now, but sometime soon I will pay for this. Are you talking about all the things that you are grateful for and all the things that are abundant in your life? Or are you looking at all the things you don't have? Those are the realities of how a money mindset is created and how that money mindset program in your mind continues to replay. So I challenge you to write a letter to yourself about the truths of your relationship with money. And then, after you've written that letter, I would write a second letter or continue on in that letter that you're currently writing about the future. How do you see your future relationship with money? What is different? How are things changing? And when you think about your future relationship with money, write it, though, as if it were happening now in the present. Is it that you're so happy about all the money that's flowing into your life? You're so happy that you're able to pay all your bills on time? Those things matter. The language that you speak, anything you say after the word I am, you are making real in your life. So be mindful of the words that you say about money, about your relationship with money, and rewrite your story. There are other things that I would suggest and pay attention to too. And that is, how do you deal with money on an everyday interaction? For me before, I honestly used to crumple money up and just toss it in my wallet and not think about it at all. Not give it any attention or any sort of anything. And I remember reading about different ways to increase the positivity of your relationship with money. And one of the things was about feng shuiing your wallet and making sure that your wallet was in a positive vibrational order. Are all your bills facing the same way? Are they crumpled, or are you making sure that they're nice and crisp and not wrinkled, straight and smooth when you put them in your wallet? Are you just throwing your cards around, or do you have an organized place to put your wallet? It may sound simple, but these things play a role in building your relationship with money. So consider that. It's something that you have to work on continuously, right? We have a subconscious mind and a conscious mind. Our conscious mind is the mind that we use to create things. Our subconscious mind is all of the things. It's like a sponge. It's all of the things that we have memorized that replay in our mind constantly about who we are and what our purpose is and what we're about. Now, are the things that replay always true? No, they're just things that we've absorbed over the years. So that part of our mind, that subconscious part of our mind, takes up and replays those programs about who we are constantly. So you think about this powerhouse that has had all these stories, all this information about who you are. And your conscious mind, which like brings things to action. And you really have to work on overturning that. So think about how much energy that takes. But it's just about replaying it, and replaying it in a new form. Some of the things that I do is I've created my own mantras. I'm so thankful for all the abundance flowing into my life. I'm so grateful for the fact that I will receive enough money this month so that I can not only pay all my bills, but have plenty of money left over for enjoyment, for savings, for treats. I am articulating what it is I want. And in doing that, I am boosting my relationship with money. You have to believe it. You know, you can listen to this podcast and you can try the activities that I'm suggesting, but emotion is one of the key, if you're into law of attraction, is one of the key things that set things into action. Emotion is energy in motion. And so when you're saying mantras to yourself about money, when you are interacting with your wallet and organizing it, when you are having exchanges that have to do with money, pay attention to what it is you are saying. Think about how you are feeling when you're paying a bill, for example. And another thing, change your vocabulary around how you speak about money. I was listening to someone's talk about money, and he said something that really stuck with me. He said, when you're talking about money, don't think about it in terms of spending it. Because when you use the word spend, you're saying it as if the money will not return to you, like it's already gone. Instead, use the word circulate. Because when you use the word circulate, that in itself guarantees that the money is coming back to you. And it confirms that you know and believe this. So instead of saying, I'm spending my money on this right now, I'm circulating my money. And one of the things I'm purchasing with that circulated money is this. You see how that feels? Try it. I'm circulating money because that money is coming back to you. Mindset is everything. It affects how we live our lives, how we operate through life. And because money is a reality, it's a key exchange in the way that we are able to acquire things in society, from food to clothing to technology, and how we function. It's important to really pay attention to your relationship with money. So I hope that this has given you some ideas. There are so many great books out there. My favorite book, I have to say, that really started me on my journey was Think and Grow Rich. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill is such a great book. And if you haven't read it, I really recommend that you check it out. It's an awesome way to get your money mindset reignited. And it's a great way to just feel that there are other options out there. So this week, the book I want to recommend is Think and Grow Rich. Check it out. There's so many books that I love, but this is a book that I want to put out there because it's interesting and it's quick to read and it's also really helpful. So May this podcast inspire you. May you write your letter to money, and may that letter be something that really jolts you into your next stage of embracing and building up and boosting your relationship with money. I'm so grateful to all of you who are listening to this podcast, and I'd love to hear from you about your own journey around money. And feel free to send me an email at IamJunieMarz. So I am Junie, Junie, Marz, Marz, at gmail.com. And let me know what you think, what activities have been helpful for you. You can also leave a comment here under this podcast and let me know how all of this is helping you. This is a community. This is a discussion. Thank you so much for listening. May your day be amazing, beautiful, full of abundance, and love-filled. May it be as awesome and exceptional and creative as you are. Have an amazing day, loves. I'll see you on the next episode. Bye. Peace out.